There is a place on our planet that appears on every map yet remains almost entirely unseen by human eyes. It is a vast white desert at the bottom of the globe, a continent of ice and silence, Antarctica. We know it exists. We have photographed it from space, its stark beauty, a testament to nature's power. Yet, for all its presence in our atlases and our minds, it is a land apart. You cannot simply book a flight and wander its frozen plains. You cannot charter a boat and explore its hidden coastlines. It is a continent under a unique and strict form of global governance, a place that is, for all intents and purposes, forbidden. This is not a land of gentle restrictions. The barriers are not just the extreme cold or the treacherous terrain. The barriers are political, enforced by the most powerful nations on Earth. Access is tightly controlled, limited to a select few scientists and a handful of strictly regulated tourist expeditions. Only visit pre-approved locations. This raises a profound and unsettling question. In an age of information, where every corner of the planet seems documented and shared, why does this one place remain so fiercely protected from public view? What secret is so vast, so important, that it requires an entire continent to be sealed away? The official narrative tells us this is for preservation. Antarctica is a pristine natural laboratory, a fragile ecosystem that must be shielded from human interference to protect its scientific value. We are told the rules are in place to prevent environmental damage and to stop geopolitical squabbles over territory. These are reasonable explanations, logical on the surface, but do they truly account for the sheer scale of the secrecy? The level of control seems to extend beyond simple environmentalism. It feels like something more. It feels like we are being kept out, not just to protect the ice, but to protect us from what lies beneath it. What if the story we are told is only a fraction of the truth? What if the real reason for this global pact is not to protect a delicate environment, but to hide a discovery that would rewrite human history? Perhaps the silence from the south is not the absence of sound, but the careful muffling of a revelation too shocking for the world to handle. The questions hang in the frozen air, colder and more piercing than any Antarctic wind. What are they hiding in the ice at the end of the world, and why are we not allowed to go and see for ourselves? The journey for answers begins with a single document, a treaty unlike any other. On December 1st, 1959, at the height of the Cold War, something remarkable happened. 12 nations, including the bitter rivals of the United States and the Soviet Union, set aside their conflicts to sign the Antarctic Treaty. This historic agreement declared the entire continent a scientific preserve, banning all military activity, weapons testing, and territorial claims. It was presented as a beacon of peace and international cooperation, the first major arms control agreement of a tense era. It was a promise to keep Antarctica pristine and dedicated solely to the peaceful pursuit of knowledge. It was a noble idea, celebrated around the world as a triumph of diplomacy over division. But we must ask, why Antarctica? And why then? The world was on the brink of nuclear war, with superpowers competing for dominance on every other continent. Yet they unanimously agreed to neutralize this one. The treaty effectively sealed off an area larger than the United States and Mexico combined. The official reason was to foster scientific collaboration and prevent the continent from becoming another pawn in the Cold War. But the timing and the unanimity are puzzling. Could there have been another, more pressing reason for this sudden, unprecedented cooperation? Was there something discovered there that so alarmed these global powers that they agreed to a pact of mutual silence? The treaty is managed in secret. Its meetings are not public, and its decisions are made behind closed doors by the consultative parties. This veil of secrecy only deepens the mystery. If the goal is purely science and environmental protection, why isn't the process more transparent? What scientific endeavors require such a high level of classified governance? The agreement effectively created a global council to rule over an entire continent operating outside the normal bounds of international law and public scrutiny. They are the guardians of Antarctica, but they are also its gatekeepers, deciding who gets in and, more importantly, what information gets out. It forces us to consider a more conspiratorial view. Perhaps the treaty was not about preventing a future conflict, but about managing a past discovery. What if explorers had already found something in the ice, something so profound, so paradigm shifting that these rival nations knew it had to be controlled? The treaty then would not be a tool for peace, but a mechanism for suppression, a global agreement to keep a lid on the biggest secret The official story is one of peace and science, but the circumstances suggest another possibility, a coordinated global cover-up on a continental scale. Long before the treaty was signed, the United States military launched a massive and mysterious expedition to the Antarctic. In 1946, Admiral Richard E. Byrd led Operation High Jump, one of the largest naval operations ever sent to the Polar South. It was officially described as a cold-weather training mission and a scientific endeavor, but the scale of the operation was staggering. It involved over 4,700 personnel, an aircraft carrier, 13 other ships, and numerous aircraft. This was not a small research party, this was a full-scale military invasion force. The official explanation simply does not seem to fit the immense resources that were deployed. This mission was planned to last for 6 to 8 months, but it was abruptly cut short. After only 8 weeks, Admiral Byrd and his fleet returned to the United States, having suffered significant and mysterious losses of aircraft and personnel. Upon his return, Byrd gave interviews that were deeply unsettling. He spoke of the necessity to defend the United States against enemy fighters that could fly from pole to pole with incredible speed. He warned of a new threat coming from the Antarctic region. His public statements were quickly silenced, and the official report on the operation remains classified to this day, fueling speculation about what his forces truly encountered in the ice. The most persistent theory surrounding Operation High Jump is that its true objective was to locate and destroy a secret Nazi base. During World War II, Germany had launched its own expedition in 1939, claiming a slice of the continent they named Neuschwabenland. Rumors have long circulated that the Nazis had discovered vast, warm water caverns beneath the ice where they constructed a hidden sanctuary called Base 211. According to this theory, the Nazis were developing advanced saucer-like aircraft or Flugscheiben in this secret facility. Was Operation High Jump a mission to eradicate the last remnants of the Third Reich and capture the future advanced technology? This narrative takes an even stranger turn with unverified stories attributed to Admiral Byrd's private diary. These tales speak of him flying beyond the South Pole and discovering a lush hidden land inside the Earth, inhabited by an advanced civilization. While these hollow earth stories are widely dismissed as hoaxes, they contribute to the powerful mystique surrounding Byrd and his mission. Whether it was a confrontation with leftover Nazis, an encounter with unknown technology, or a journey to another world, the story of Operation High Jump suggests that the United States government learned something in Antarctica, something it did not want the public to know. The mystery of Antarctica is not just about modern secrets, it may also hold the key to our most ancient past. One of the most compelling and perplexing artifacts connected to this puzzle is the Piri Reis map, created by a Turkish admiral in 1513. This map shows the coasts of South America and Africa with stunning accuracy. But it also appears to depict something impossible, the northern coastline of Antarctica. And it shows this coastline free of ice. This is a landmass that was not officially discovered until 300 years later, and its subglacial topography was not mapped until the advent of modern ground-penetrating radar in the 20th century. How could this be? The existence of this map has led to a fascinating and controversial theory. It suggests that an advanced civilization existed thousands of years ago, one with the technological capability to accurately map the entire globe. This civilization would have known the world when the climate was different, when Antarctica was not yet buried under miles of ice. Proponents of this theory, like the author Graham Hancock, argue that this lost civilization was wiped out by a global cataclysm, likely the end of the last ice age, around 12,000 years ago. The Piri Reis map, they claim, is a surviving fragment of this lost world's knowledge passed down through generations. If such a civilization existed, Antarctica could be its final resting place. The continent's sudden deep freeze would have perfectly preserved its cities, its structures, and its technology beneath a protective sheet of ice. This idea transforms Antarctica from a desolate wasteland into the world's largest archaeological site, a time capsule waiting to be opened. The stories of a lost continent like Atlantis suddenly seem less like myth and more like memory of a very real historical event. The evidence may be buried deep, but the clues, like the Piri Reis map, continue to surface, hinting at a history far older and more complex than we currently accept. This raises the stakes of the Antarctic Treaty. If there are indeed the ruins of a highly advanced ancient human civilization under the ice, its discovery would shatter our understanding of the past. It would force us to reconsider the origins of human society, technology, and knowledge. Is this the real secret being guarded by the world's governments? Are they trying to prevent a global panic or a paradigm shift that could destabilize our modern world? The possibility is staggering. The sealing of Antarctica may not be about hiding Nazi bases or alien craft, but about concealing the true forgotten history of humanity itself. The advent of satellite imagery has given us, an unprecedented view of our planet, revealing its secrets from above. And in Antarctica, these eyes in the sky have captured images that are both baffling and honestly electrifying. In the Ellsworth mountain range, a series of peaks has been discovered that bear an uncanny resemblance to the Great Pyramids of Giza. These are not just vaguely triangular mountains, they are four-sided structures with sharp defined edges and a pointed apex rising starkly from the surrounding ice fields. Geologists are quick to offer a natural explanation, attributing their shape to millions of years of erosion by wind and ice, a phenomenon known as a pyramidal peak or a horn. But the symmetry and form of these structures are so striking that many observers are not convinced by the official explanation. Is it possible that these are not natural formations at all? Could they be artificial structures built by an ancient civilization and now slowly being exposed as the ice melts? The idea is, tantalizing. If they are man-made, they would be the largest pyramids on Earth, evidence of an engineering feat that would rival or even surpass that of ancient Egypt. The sheer scale of such a project in one of the world's most inhospitable environments suggests a culture of immense power and technological sophistication. The mystery deepens when we consider what else might be hidden. Modern science has given us tools that can see where our eyes cannot. Ground-penetrating radar and satellite imaging have revealed a vast network of subglacial lakes and ancient river systems beneath the ice sheets. In 2013, scientists mapped a massive river system larger than any on the surface today that once flowed across the continent. More tantalizingly, radar scans have detected enormous anomalous structures deep beneath the ice. In one instance, a massive circular structure several miles in diameter was detected under the Wilkes Land region, leading to speculation that it could be anything from a massive impact crater to a buried city. These discoveries paint a picture of a very different Antarctica, a world that was once green, temperate, and teeming with life, a world that could have easily supported a thriving civilization. The pyramid-like mountains and the unexplained subglacial anomalies could be the last remaining monuments of that lost world. While mainstream science remains skeptical, the visual evidence is, difficult to ignore. Each new image from space, each new radar scan adds another piece to a puzzle that challenges our conventional understanding of both geology and history. The question remains, are we looking at tricks of light and shadow, or are we seeing the first glimpses of a forgotten empire? The mysteries of Antarctica are not confined to the ice beneath our feet. They also extend to the heavens above. The continent's clear, dry atmosphere and its position at the Earth's pole make it one of the best places in the world for astronomy and particle physics. It is here at the Amundsen Scott South Pole Station that scientists operate the Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory. This incredible instrument uses a cubic kilometer of pristine ice as a giant detector, searching for tiny elusive particles called neutrinos that stream through the universe. Most of the time, Ice Cube detects neutrinos from predictable sources like our sun or distant supernovas, but sometimes it detects something that, well, defies explanation. In 2017, the observatory recorded a series of high-energy neutrino bursts that appeared to erupt from the ground beneath the station. This was completely unexpected. Neutrinos travel in straight lines through space, and they can pass through almost any matter. For high-energy neutrinos to be traveling upwards through the Earth, they would have had to originate from a point in the sky in the northern hemisphere. However, scientists could not match these detections to any known astrophysical object like a black hole or a gamma-ray burst. The origin of these ghost-like particles remains a complete mystery, leading to wild speculation. Could there be a powerful unknown particle accelerator buried deep beneath the Antarctic ice sheet? Some have theorized that the unexplained signals could be generated by a source of immense power hidden from view. This has reignited rumors of alien technology or even a crashed extraterrestrial vessel preserved in the ice. The idea is that an advanced non-human power source could be emitting these strange particles. While this is far from a scientific conclusion, the lack of a conventional explanation leaves the door open to such extraordinary possibilities. The data is real, the source is unknown. The silence from the scientific community on the more exotic explanations only adds to the intrigue. This connection to the cosmos makes Antarctica a focal point for theories about extraterrestrial contact. For decades, ufologists have claimed that the continent serves as a secret base for alien visitors, its isolation providing the perfect cover for their activities. The unexplained neutrino bursts are seen by some as potential evidence supporting this claim. Is it possible that the Antarctic Treaty was established not just to hide a human secret, but eka non amanas hansi sindens wamboenesh? Perhaps the world's governments are not just gatekeepers, perhaps they are custodians managing a secret of cosmic significance on behalf of a power far beyond our own. The ice may not just be hiding our past, but also a potential future. In our modern age, Google Earth has become the armchair explorer's greatest tool. We can zoom in on almost any location on the planet, from the streets of Paris to the peaks of the Himalayas. But when you turn your digital gaze to Antarctica, you may notice something strange. Certain areas appear blurred, pixelated, or even completely blacked out. These instances of apparent censorship are often found in the most remote and intriguing parts of the continent, precisely where one might expect to find something hidden. Why would a tool designed to show us the world deliberately hide parts of it? This digital veil has become a central pillar of Antarctic conspiracy theories. Official explanations for these blurred patches are usually technical. They are often attributed to low-resolution satellite imagery, data stitching errors, or the difficulty of capturing clear pictures of a vast white and often cloud-covered landscape. Google may also restrict imagery over sensitive scientific or military installations, as it does in other parts of the world. However, these explanations do not satisfy everyone. Skeptics point out that some of the blurred areas are enormous, spanning hundreds of square miles and seem too deliberately obscured to be accidental. To them, it is not a technical glitch. It is a calculated act of censorship. These digital blind spots fuel the belief that something is being hidden from the public. What could warrant such a cover-up on a visual platform used by billions? Theorists have speculated that these blurred regions could be masking the entrances to underground Nazi bases, the locations of crashed alien spacecraft, or the excavated ruins of an ancient city. If there were a massive pyramid or a secret military installation in the middle of the ice, obscuring it on public satellite maps would be a logical first step in maintaining its secrecy. The act of hiding the image becomes in itself evidence that there is something worth hiding. This digital mystery adds another layer to the fortress of secrecy surrounding the continent. It suggests that the control over Antarctica extends beyond physical access and into the realm of information itself. In an era that promises transparency, the existence of these censored zones feels like a betrayal of that promise. It reinforces the idea that we are only being shown a carefully curated version of reality, a picture of Antarctica that omits its most important features. The question is no longer just what is under the ice, but also what is being deliberately erased from our maps and who is making the decision to keep us in the dark. The Antarctic Treaty, for all its mysteries, has been remarkably successful for over 60 years. It has kept the continent demilitarized and preserved as a hub for peaceful scientific research. But this fragile peace is now facing its greatest test. Beneath the ice, Antarctica is believed to hold some of the world's last great untapped reserves of natural resources. There are potentially vast quantities of oil and natural gas, along with precious minerals and rare earth elements essential for modern technology. The 1991 Madrid Protocol, an addition to the treaty, banned all mineral extraction until at least 2048. But that date is now looming on the horizon. As 2048 approaches, geopolitical tensions are rising. Major world powers are expanding their presence on the continent, building bigger and more sophisticated research stations that could easily be converted for other purposes in the future. Nations like China and Russia are making strategic investments, positioning themselves for a time when the ban on mining might be revisited or collapse altogether. The spirit of scientific cooperation is slowly being eroded by the shadow of resource competition. The land that was once a symbol of peace is now becoming a potential flashpoint for future conflict, a great game being played on a field of ice. The treaty system itself is showing signs of strain. At a recent meeting in July 2025, member nations failed to agree on new environmental protections, such as adding the threatened emperor penguin to the specially protected species list. Decades-old negotiations over regulating the continent's growing tourism industry have stalled. This diplomatic paralysis suggests that the consensus that has held for so long is breaking down. Nations are beginning to prioritize their own strategic interests over the collective good of preserving the continent. The once solid foundation of the treaty appears to be cracking under the pressure of 21st century ambitions. This raises a crucial question about the future. If the treaty system were to collapse, what would happen to the secrets of Antarctica? A free-for-all for resources could lead to the accidental or intentional exposure of whatever is hidden there, or a new, more aggressive form of secrecy could be imposed by whichever nation gains dominance. The race for resources could simply be a cover story for the real prize, the control of ancient technology, alien artifacts, or historical truths buried beneath the ice. The growing tension is not just about oil or minerals, it is about who will control the ultimate fate of the world's most mysterious continent. We are left where we began, standing at the edge of a great white mystery. We have a continent sealed by an unprecedented international treaty, a pact of secrecy signed by enemies at the height of the Cold War. We have hushed up military expeditions, tales of lost Nazi bases, and advanced technology. We have ancient maps that show the land without its icy shell, and satellite images that reveal pyramid-like structures challenging natural explanation. We have unexplained energy signals coming from deep within the earth, and digital maps with deliberate blind spots hiding something from our view. Each thread leads to more questions, weaving a tapestry of intrigue that is honestly impossible to dismiss. So, what is the truth? Is Antarctica simply a pristine wilderness, protected for the good of science and the environment, with all these anomalies being nothing more than coincidences and misinterpretations? Is this the simplest explanation? Or is the official story a carefully constructed facade, a cover for a secret so monumental it required the world's superpowers to work together to conceal it? Is it the resting place of a lost civilization, a forgotten chapter of human history that would rewrite everything we know about our past? The chasm between these two possibilities is vast, and the evidence seems to pull us towards the more extraordinary conclusion. Could the truth be even stranger than fiction? Perhaps the secret is not human at all. The unexplained technologies, the mysterious energy sources, the rumors of crash vessels, they all point toward an extraterrestrial presence. Are the world's governments managing a secret of cosmic proportions, a truth so profound that they believe humanity is not ready to face it? In this scenario, the Antarctic Treaty is not just a political agreement, it is a planetary quarantine designed to keep us away from a reality that would forever change our place in the universe. The possibilities are as limitless as the Antarctic wasteland itself. Ultimately, we are left with the most fundamental and frustrating question of all. Why aren't we allowed to know? In an age that prides itself on openness and the free flow of information, the silence from Antarctica is deafening. The continent remains a place of rumor and speculation precisely because of the secrecy that surrounds it. Until the day that the ice gives up its secrets or the governments of the world decide to tell the truth, we can only wonder. We must challenge the narrative as less than ask this difficult questions and consider that what lies hidden at the bottom of our world may be the most important discovery we could ever imagine.